So if Jeet Kune is about freedom, why are there so many people trying to put it into a box? Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 356. This is the one about using no way as way, but my way is right. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune broadcasts. All right, okay, so this whole no way is way, right? It came about because why? Because Bruce Lee rejected um, rigid systems and styles and definitions and all that. So using no way as way is about keeping an open mind, and it's about, to use esoteric language, it's about flowing with what works for you and not being bound by labels. So if somebody comes along and insists that their version of Jeet Kune is the only legitimate one, then are they not creating the same kind of rigid system that Bruce Lee warned against? If Bruce Lee emphasized that Jeet Kune is about self-expression and not rigid technique, if no two people are identical, their physiques are going to be different, their experiences are going to be different, their mindsets are going to be different. And these are the things that, these are components of self-expression. So it's reasonable to assume that their applications of JKD can be also not be identical. They can naturally look a little bit different, right? Because, and by different, I don't mean that the techniques are going to differ drastically. What I mean is that because of experiences, somebody might end up focusing more or being more interested in middle range to close quarter, whereas somebody else in JKD might be more interested in middle range to long range, right? And it's still going to be Jeet Kune. Bruce Lee himself, I think it's pretty much accepted that Bruce Lee's way of training itself evolved over his years. His ideas changed from time to time. There was the period of time where things were more steeped in the Wing Chun way, and then with the deletion or the addition of other things, then that entity came to take on a name of its own, so to speak, aka Jun Fan Gung Fu. Until then, the more liberated form of all of that became the Jeet Kune, right? So Bruce Lee himself evolved. The no limitation concept is a mindset concept as well, right? Because, like I said earlier, no way is way, but no limitation is limitation. They both point in the direction of being open to growth and being open to new ideas. So engaging in endless debates is not growth. It's not even a new idea. People have been engaging in endless debates about Jeet Kune and the nature of Jeet Kune since at least 1972, since at least on paper, in magazines, at least 1992 or so. So engaging in debate about what is and what isn't real Jeet Kune, that in itself is a limitation, because that is an attachment to a fixed idea. And if somebody feels the need to argue, then they should ask themselves, am I defending a truth, or am I just resisting a challenge to my beliefs? Again, if you think back to the era of Bruce Lee's first radical thinking, traditional martial art back then kind of emphasized lineage and hierarchy, who trained with whom, and who had the real knowledge and what have you. And Jeet Kune was meant to free people from that type of idea. But ironically, and this raised its head just a couple of days ago, some JKD practitioners fall into that trap of thinking that lineage and hierarchy I had somebody say to me that I'm being disrespectful if I don't know the names of people from Seattle. If I don't know the names of people from Seattle, then somehow I'm not paying homage to those who came before me. Well, that's ridiculous because a guy who trained in Seattle with Bruce Lee in 1962 does not really, he's not a guy that paved the way for me. The people who paved the way for you are the people with whom you have literal interaction, literal physical interaction. These are the people that paved the way for you. Knowing the names of everybody who trained with Bruce Lee, I mean, look, it would be impressive if I would impress all of you if I could say, oh, Bruce Lee's classmates at Yip Man School were William Chung and Wong Sheng Lung and Hawkins Chung and whoever else and whoever else and whoever else. Be like, damn, Dwight's a real historian. But see, I am not here to be a Jeet Kune Do historian. I am here to help people to wrap their minds around this elusive concept known as Jeet Kune Do. So being able to call out the names of people that trained in the 60s in their little pretty kung fu suits and whatever, that has nothing to do, right, with the perpetuation of Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do is meant to free people from all those kinds of restricted, limited, hierarchical, traditional ways of thinking, right? So somebody who follows Bruce Lee should be more focused, not if you're a true follower of Bruce Lee's, you're not even, in fact, I should differentiate this because this is something I picked up from Chris Kent the other day. A slight difference between the Bruce Lee legacy and the Jeet Kune Do legacy. You see, if you're a follower of Bruce Lee, then you should be more interested in the Jeet Kune Do legacy. But if you want to appear to be some kind of insider, and as a follower of Bruce Lee, what it is, it's about, oh, well, he lived at this address for this period of time. And this is the names of the people that trained at this or whatever. Yeah, fine. No problem with knowing those names, right? But that's not the essence of it. That's not where it's at all, right? Bruce Lee was about growth and focusing on results and not theory. So if somebody's approach to Jeet Kune Do is based on results, is based on real world application, then that's what's most important. That is infinitely way more important than whether or not it aligns with somebody else's opinion of as to what real Jeet Kune Do is. Okay, so I just wanted to, because you guys know me, I get restless if I don't come talk to you for a while. And as you can hear, my voice is not 100% yet. I am still dealing. This time last week, actually, I was going to say that Ron Goldstein could testify to this, but even Ron was out of commission, so to speak. This time last week, I was in my hotel room at the Titans location, but racking myself to death with a cough. Okay, suffering from what Cass Magda has dubbed the Sinawali flu, because I caught it probably in Marina Del Rey. So Cass says, well, that's what you get, right? The Sinawali flu. Anyhow, I get restless when I don't get to talk to you guys or whatever. So I thought I put this off since Wednesday to Thursday to Friday to Saturday, and then I'm like, okay, you got to do something. You got to talk about something, right? So this idea of no limitation, I'd actually had the thought a couple of weeks ago, but never got a chance to put it in front of you guys. And so I want to know from you in the comments what you think about the whole idea of no way is way, no limitation is limitation. Hang on one second. Let me clear this. And you check my cool t-shirt and coffee mug combination. Right. So let me know, quite simply, what you guys consider to be the idea of no way and way, no way is way, and no limitation is limitation. Because if you cannot see, this is my opinion on it. If you cannot see how deeply rooted in the idea of freedom that that those expressions are, then you're missing something. Right. So today, like I just showed you, is a black and white or gray day. Right. That's where we are. Um, I'm gonna tell you that if everything works out, we should be back next Friday to um, live versions of the Jeet Kune Do dialogues. That's if everything works out. I'm pretty sure I'll be fine within the next week or so, and I'll have a voice. But the truth is, after I talk for about 15 minutes or so, I feel like I have to give my lungs a chance to catch up, right? So that's why I've been staying off camera or what have you. But in any case, it was good to hang out with you guys. Let me just check and see if anybody had anything to say or ask and whatever. Um, Frank, sorry. I was hoping to avoid a cough on camera. Frank says, I won't mention any names, but back in the 1990s, some JKD instructors ran ads in Black Belt magazine that said, my JKD is the only authentic JKD. Yeah, well, there's always going to be egomaniacs that will come up with something like that. Scort says, I recently took the time to watch 5 different classic Inosano interviews, and he dispels all of the myths and misconceptions about him in these interviews. I wish that his critics watch these. Well, Scorch, I wouldn't be surprised if his critics watch them. But again, just because Dan Inosano is on camera saying something, um, the messages that people get, I mean, look, this is just the way of the world. This is just the way of the world. 5 people will watch the same set of interviews, and those 5 people can all come away with something different. Now, 3 of them, if they're pro Inosano, might come away with something positive. One guy might be neutral, the other guy might be negative, right? And I just made those numbers up. In some circles, all five guys, right, could come away being anti-Inosano, most likely because they went into it as anti-Inosano. Anyhow, right? Yeah, that's just the way that it goes, right? And we're never going to be able to do anything about that, right? Magazine Retriever says, I have to say, as terribly as Bruce Lee has been depicted in biographical movies, I'm so glad that no one has ever played Dan Inosano in a movie. Again, sorry. See, this is a sign that I'm talking too much, right? And Frank says, I think that many of us would agree that no way as way and no limitations is very sound approach to martial art training. Well, it depends, because if you're somebody who is steeped in the traditionalism of martial art, then that way would be the way, right? For those people. Bruce Lee, as I've said before, is a product of the zeitgeist of his era, right? Or a product of his zeitgeist. And so the idea of rebelling against traditionalism, against classicalism, that type of idea, he's the guy that brought that into the martial art world to a certain degree, right? Okay, all right. So it's coming up on 15 minutes, and my voice is going to go in a second, and I got to hang out with Ron Reagan and Dot tomorrow. So let me get off the camera. And thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes today. I promise, guys, as soon as I kick this thing, right, I'll be back in full effect, as the cool kids say, right? Okay, so until next time, this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. You guys enjoy your weekend, and we will talk soon. Take care now.